Nice launch trajectory and countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic. Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed. Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
On screen is a live view of Falcon 9 awaiting its liftoff from Vandenberg Space Force Base's Space Launch Complex 4 East about 9 minutes from now. This afternoon's launch is our 4th launch from Vandenberg this year. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andy Tran, and I'm a quality engineer here at SpaceX. I'm joining you today from Hawthorne, California, which is about 170 miles from our West Coast launch pad that you see on screen. On today's flight, we'll be taking another 53 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit in order to expand our coverage around the globe. A bit later in the webcast, we'll share a couple of updates on our growing coverage in Canada and across Europe. But before we get to that, we wanted to recognize a handful of celebrations during the month of May. Not only is it the month for sending Star Wars-themed memes and celebrating the amazing women and moms in our life, it's also a time when we recognize and celebrate all the incredible contributions made by generations of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. These contributions have had a great impact to our history, society, and culture. Here at SpaceX, our Asian American Pacific Islander Employee Network is hosting a variety of events where we'll celebrate traditional cuisine, movies, and other fun activities. So be sure to take some time this month to send love to your Asian American and Pacific Islander friends and neighbors. For now, let's take a closer look at our Falcon 9 on the pad. If you're not familiar, Falcon 9, also known as F9, is a 2-stage rocket and the first orbital-class rocket capable of reflight that is designed and manufactured by SpaceX. F9 stands 70 meters tall, which is almost as tall as the Taj Mahal in India, and is named after the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. The Falcon 9 that you see on screen rolled out to the pad Wednesday morning and then went vertical a few hours after that. This particular first stage has supported 4 missions: NASA's Double Asteroid Redirection Test, or DART, the Sentinel-6 microfluidic mission, and 2 past Starlink missions. And if you've been following SpaceX, you know that reusability is one of our top priorities, as it's the key to reducing the cost of space access for all of us. And being able to reuse multiple components of our rockets plays a big part in making that a reality. In addition to the Star Wars aspect to the name, the number 9 in Falcon 9 references the 9 M1D engines on the first stage, but there's actually 10 engines on the rocket. The second stage has a slightly modified engine on it called the Merlin Vacuum, or MVAC engine. This engine has a larger nozzle which allows the second stage to perform better in the vacuum of space. And much like an assembly line, each part of the rocket plays a very important role to the launch. While the first stage powers us up and out of the Earth's atmosphere to space, the second stage takes the satellites to their targeted drop-off orbit. We just heard the callouts that
Stage 1 RP1 load is complete.
Engine chill has begun, and second stage thrust vector control actuators should start within the next few minutes. These are also known as the engine wiggle test. We move the thrust chamber slightly to make sure that the guidance hardware is a go for flight. The first stage would do the same wiggle test just seconds before ignition. The large barrel structure with the pointed nose that is on top of the second stage is the payload fairing. It's composed of 2 halves made up of carbon composite material that come together to protect our satellites until we're in the vacuum of space. Around 3 minutes into flight, once we've exited Earth's atmosphere, we will jettison the fairing halves and attempt to retrieve them once they return to Earth. We want to jettison the fairings as soon as we can, as the weight of the fairing actually decreases second stage performance. And for reference, the payload